James Gunn is facing backlash over the decision to release Superman onto digital streaming services 35 days after it premiered in theaters. While there are some people out there who like this decision because now they have the opportunity to watch it at home, others who are hoping that this movie would actually beat out Zack Snyder's Man of Steel are pretty upset because it's looking like that's just not in the cards for it. But before we get into all this, if you're new to the channel here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you can, leave a comment and hit the like button because it helps out with the channel. So I got this article pulled up from Cosmic Book News with the headline, Fans Blast James Gunn Over Superman's Early Digital Release. Now, before I really dive into this, I just want to point out that James Gunn's not the one responsible for releasing it on digital streaming services this early. While he is the co-CEO of DC Studios, he's responsible for the creative aspect of it and the vision moving forward. He's not the one who manages the distribution of it. That's Warner Brothers Discovery or another branch of Warner Brothers. So it's other executives making this call, but since James Gunn is the one kind of as the face of DC Studios, he's the one who has to make this announcement. James Gunn's announcement that Superman will hit digital on Friday, August 15th, just 35 days after its theatrical debut, has lit up social media with a mix of backlash, excitement, and trolling. Hundreds of fans on X have already reacted to James Gunn's post about the announcement. And according to this article, they asked Grok to try to tabulate the sentiment surrounding the post talking about this. And it says 65% had a negative reaction to it, saying that it's too soon and it'll hurt the box office and hurt its comparisons with other Superman films, which to that point, I think that's 100% true. 20% of the people had a positive reaction and they're eager to actually watch it at home. 10% are mixed, saying that they can understand the pros and cons of it. And around 5% it says they're just trolling, and it's just the Snyder Gunn debates and personal jabs, something that you would expect from social media. And while I do know my own personal experience is just anecdotal on this one, I think it kind of fits along the line of what we're seeing right here, where the majority of the people talking about this have a negative reaction saying how it's too soon, whereas other people, there's some people out there who are excited about it. So just take with that what you will. Let me know in the comments if you have a similar reaction to it, or if your experience with the reactions for this is similar to what's being posted here. Frustration over theatrical cut short. So the loudest reaction came from fans unhappy that Superman is heading to home viewing so soon. That's 65% again. Many argue the movie cuts the legs from its box office run, with some calling it diabolical to release a major tentpole on digital barely a month after its theatrical bow. Others saw it as a sign of weak performance, posting comments like it's a box office flop and no longer making enough money, and releasing movies on streaming after barely 30 days in theaters is insane. International fans echoed the sentiment, saying Warner Brothers should have waited until September. I don't know if September really would have made a huge difference, but I think people saying that this is going to undercut its box office potential are kind of overstating that, because if you look at how much the movie has made thus far, currently it's sitting at $581 million, at least according to Box Office Mojo right now from its latest update. So $581 million. Reportedly, they're saying that the movie cost around $225 million. So when you factor in marketing costs, this is a movie that probably needed to make close to $700 million in order to be profitable at the global box office, perhaps $650 million on a low estimate. But if you followed my channel for a while, I've talked about how the tax filings for this movie are saying that the budget was closer to $350 million. James Gunn's tried to refute that, hasn't provided any evidence to the contrary. Warner Brothers just says it's significantly less than that. And without any evidence to back it up, it's pretty much their word against tax filings. But let's just go with the $225 million budget for argument's sake. $650 million is still quite a bit more than the $581 million that they're currently sitting at. But if they were to keep this in theaters, would it actually reach that mark? And I'm not confident that it would, because if you look at its box office performance over time, I mean, it's following it had an okay hold at the box office, but it's following a typical pattern where movies just slowly lose revenue over time. And last weekend, it made between Friday through Sunday around $8 million. So and it's just going to be going down over time. So it's not going to be long until it's not making any money at the box office. So the decision to release it on streaming right now, when there's still a little bit of hype from their marketing campaign for it, I think will serve them better, especially if it's some paid video on demand services. They might make more from that than if they were just to keep it in theaters right now. So from a business standpoint, it's looking like that's probably the smart decision right now. And some people saying that this just shows that it's not doing good at the box office. That's why they're releasing it so soon on digital. And I think there is some truth to that, because if this movie was still making a ton of money at the box office and there's a lot of hype surrounding it, there's no way they'd be pulling it from theaters right now. But since they actually are pulling it from theaters and releasing it on digital, I think they're just trying to capitalize on the wave of hype that they had built up in the lead up to the release of the movie by releasing it on digital, as opposed to releasing it on putting it in theaters for a couple more months and then releasing it on digital after that, because then there would be a lot less enthusiasm for it. So this is probably a good business decision. Now, is this going to hurt its comparison with Man of Steel? Well, yes, 100%, because, oh, here, I got this. So if you look at the box office for Man of Steel, worldwide, that made $667 million, or just under $668 million globally. And now you got Superman, $581 million for at the global box office. Both budgets are reported to be around $225 million. Yeah, you can see that right here. So, yeah, Man of Steel did beat out James Gunn Superman. But it's even worse than that when you factor in the cost increase for movie theater tickets, because when you look at that comparison right here, the average ticket cost back in 2013 when Man of Steel came out was around $5.50 to $6 adjusted for inflation. So when you take all that consideration, that meant Man of Steel sold globally around 112 to 122 million tickets for this movie, whereas James Gunn Superman sold 64 to 67 million tickets sold. According to this right here, that's around a 52 to 60% drop in ticket sales for James Gunn Superman versus Man of Steel. So even though James Gunn Superman has a better audience reaction to it and a better critic score, it seems like when it comes to the box office potential for the movie, Zack Snyder's Superman movie, or should I say Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, just did better than what James Gunn Superman is. And there is a lot of factors that play for that. I think one of them is digital releases, and not that they're releasing James Gunn Superman so soon. It's because audiences are conditioned to wait for it to come out on streaming, because if they're not really excited about a movie, then they might as well just wait for it to come out on streaming services, especially if it's going to come out on a streaming service that they already have a subscription to. They're like, well, I can watch it in theaters, or I can just wait a couple months and then watch it at home. And I think that's what people are doing. Not to mention, audiences are less inclined to go to theaters now unless they really want to watch the movie, because, as this kind of points out, ticket sales are significantly more expensive now than what they used to be in the past. Adjusted for inflation, averaged, they used to cost around $5.50 to $6 adjusted. So if ticket sales were around the same price nowadays, I think we would have seen a lot more people going to see James Gunn Superman movie. But because it's more expensive for people to go see it, they're willing to take a wait and see approach, unless it's one of those movies that really excites them. And while the audience reaction to Superman was generally positive, it wasn't so positive as to wanting to get people to go out the theaters right now. It was just kind of like, yeah, the movie's okay. It's decent enough. If you want to watch it, you should probably check it out. If not, it's not like you're going to feel like you're missing out. And that's why it's underperforming at the box office. Now, will this hurt James Gunn when it comes to DC and moving forward? Perhaps. I don't think it's going to be significant for him. It's not like it's going to tank his potential. Like, he's not going to lose his job at DC or anything like that. But I think he's going to have a little bit more oversight moving forward from other executives, because he was pretty much given free reign to do what he wanted to launch their new DC universe. And so far, it just kind of landed with a bit of a thud. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Are you surprised that Zack Snyder's Man of Steel beat out James Gunn Superman, or is this just kind of what you expected? And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. If you can, hit the like button and share the video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.